Hey everyone, and welcome to Art at the Inn. I'm Cece, aka Soup, and today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. We've got multiple members of our Laughing Dragon Inn group here, and we are going to be doing some mini painting, and Liz is going to be sewing some patches onto a cute little witch hat that she's got. So we've got kind of a big screen up in the middle, so if we ever want to show something up kind of close, then we can switch over. And so we're just gonna be chilling and chatting and doing our crafting thing. So yeah, like I said, I'm Cece, or Soup, as I'm sometimes known. We've also got Marty here, and then we've got Liz. And Andy is going to be running tech and then talking with us also. So,
thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to introduce what I'm working on today. So what I'm going to be working on is this cute little St. Bernard cleric. He is from a pack of minis called Dungeons and Doggies. So they're really cute. Little minis that are basically like D&D characters that are dogs instead of people. And I believe that you can even download like PDFs of the like character sheets and stuff for them. So I love dogs and I thought they were real cute. So that's what I'm going to be painting today.
That is adorable.
Marty, what are you going to be painting today?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try because I've already kind of like stuttered my approach because I'm very rusty, but I've got custom-made Dan Slap and Vianti minis that I have made, and I'm going to start picking away at them because I've been very, very excited about them.
Yeah.
So, and if you face them away from each other, it looks like they're doing a dance, and that was very much on purpose.
I love it.
So, yeah, sassy and classy, best frondos. So, yeah, now it's just Oh, and actually, I did want to up front. I don't know that we're going to be doing too much tutorial stuff or whatever, but I got these through Hero Forge, which I do find to be very, very good, and only getting better. Actually, you can do a lot of stuff. Like I manually positioned the hair so it looked like it was in movement instead of just draped down the back.
Cool.
And so they've got a lot of customization like that. But one thing, so when I got them, these are not raw. When you get them, and this is a little bit less of a problem with depending on the plastics, but you soap and water with a toothbrush to get all the dust off and whatever that might interfere with your paints. Then I primered them with a spray primer from a couple, from a foot away or so, so it doesn't junk up too bad. And then I ink wash first. I don't know, Cece, if you do any ink washing first.
Yeah, I'm not actually a big fan of doing washes.
Okay.
Generally. I just start with my darkest color.
Sure.
And then build up from there.
Yeah, I learned at the knee of a high school master. And he was big on ink washes first because it'll show you all your lines and your little details that you might otherwise kind of miss when you're in there with the paint. So
that's a really interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, because at a certain point in painting, it occurred to me that, well, wait, I'm just painting over that wash. And it occasionally gives you a little bit of a shade, like to start with, but you paint over it pretty quickly. But yeah, it's more to highlight the details first. So you kind of know, like, oh, actually, she's wearing gloves. Or, oh, look, that's a boot, not a foot or whatever. So,
Smart idea.
That was my process.
Maybe I'll try that on this guy.
I suggest it.
And then Liz, did you want to show what you're working on?
I am working on trying to make sure this patch here is lined up with the other two, which I don't think it is.
Very nice.
Well, it's kind of an organic hat, so if it's not perfect, I'm sure it'll look fine still.
I'm sure. It's sort of a thing I'm doing where it's like I'm putting it together like as like a character would, so it's like a DIY wizard. So
cool. I like that idea. Andy, what are you working on today?
Making sure the stream looks okay.
Oh yeah.
That's about it. Let me see. I don't think I have anything around. Let me see. I've got
The true craft.
Yeah, no, nothing really. I did this previously. I painted this. It lights up.
Yeah, actually, there's something you should add to the stream, Andy, is all of your
Doesn't light up.
holy crap bullshit crafts you do for home games.
Yeah, I do like to make little props for D&D games, and I was thinking I should have grabbed a couple before I started, but they're kind of buried in my closet right now because we haven't met in person in a long time for various reasons.
Why? What's going on?
I'll tell you off stream.
Oh, okay, sure.
But yeah, I was always a big fan of just being able to hand your player something. It's even if it's just a note that you tea stained, or even if it's just a note you wrote. Like, it's nice to physically hand them something and be like, "You get this, keep it."
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I kind of am like, man, I wish we could do that. And I do think that you do kind of a good job, like when you pulled out those coins that one time. And like when you did the lighting effects that other time, and yeah, I feel like you do a good job of, like, even though you can't like physically like necessarily like hand them to us because we're over the internet and whatnot, I think you do a good job of kind of like creating that kind of like feel.
I like the theatrics of it.
Yeah.
and can confirm it really makes a big difference when you're handed something, especially if it means something to your character. It's something that's like, oh shoot, like I was just thinking earlier, and you'll probably be able to figure out pretty quickly why you jogged my memory of it earlier today, Andrew, was the Warlock book. That was a physical media book, but it had a bunch of Post-it notes covering information, and depending on the player's action, different Post-it notes came off, revealing different things. Sometimes it was spells, sometimes it was threats from the book. Very cool, and made you want to keep being like, what's up with this book though? Like, yeah, it the world of imagination is pretty great, but every once in a while when your DM's just kind of like, here, I spent time and made this for you. It's a fucking haunted book. It adds something.
I had to take that book home with me every session because I had to add stuff to it.
Yeah.
But it would be like, yeah, you need to give me that back though. And I trusted the player not to cheat, but there was a lot of, well, you did X this week, so now I gotta add options for that. And that was one of the things I was most proud of. That, and I made a little puzzle box once that had a false bottom.
Yes.
And I attached it with magnets. So, I was pretty proud of myself when if you didn't know there was a fake bottom, it looked just like a cube. And then I can't remember how you figured it out, but somebody figured it out that there's a false bottom, and then there was a note inside. But yeah, well, and that was something I liked back when you could just go to stores. I would just go to craft stores and look around for stuff and be like, what can I do with this? Sure. But then the chain I liked, AC Moore, closed, so that was a bummer. But that was all.
We have AC Moore's by me.
That was all. Do you still? They went out of business by us, but that was also it was right before COVID. Like, I remember that was one of the last stores I went to, like, unmasked. And none of the deals were good. So. Yeah, it might have just closed locally for us, but they all, and I think they're owned by the same company as Michael's, so
yeah.
Because we can't not have monopolies anymore, but.
Okay, I'm starting to see the benefits of doing the ink wash first.
Just calls out little details. Just calls out little details you might have otherwise missed. I am a little afraid. It might be because I got the cheaper plastic, but I'm a little afraid I did my base too close. And I was like a good foot away, but listen, Dance App's a halfling. There's only so much coverage you're gonna have. Because it's just a little gritty. It's a little grittier than I want it to be, but again, that might be bad plastics. But I was ordering 5 minis at the same time, and this, as all hobbies, is expensive.
Yeah. How much do their minis typically run, like, per mini?
For one, for this plastic, I think it was $20 per. And for the plastic I tend to get, that I like to get, it's $30 per. And so that was immediately like almost $200 in minis. And when I asked my wife, hey, is it cool if I get back into painting? She's like, here's your limit. Wisely so. She was like, yeah, but to start off, especially because like I had to refresh a bunch of paints too and stuff. If it was just minis, I probably could have, well, 200 still a lot of money for anything, but
for sure.
Yeah, but if I didn't also have to get paints, it probably could have gotten.
Nope.
I did just realize I do have miniatures I can show off that have been either painted for me or by me, including Gary.
Garrett.
Which Marty painted for me. That was a birthday present one year.
Aww.
My favorite sweet, sweet boys, the Remoraz.
Gross.
Our own
Was
Timothy.
that the one that Timothy did?
Timothy painted this for me. And he's
very cool.
You've got a soft spot for Remorazes.
Well, it is 100% the character art in the monster manual.
Yeah,
it's just I just love it. I just love its little face looking at itself. Like it's just it's so goofy.
Oh, the little glamour shots.
Yeah, like it clearly is meant to just be like a little. Oh, here's a little sketch, but it just the face it's making, and it's like making direct, like looking in awe at itself. I don't know why. I just love it. Here's a angel I painted for one of my other characters' summons. That was from 4E. I can't find him though. Here's his space cat. No, he's here somewhere because he's with. I'm sure he's with Fane, who.
Yeah.
But he's just in a box that isn't readily available to me. There's a space cat. And then here is my first ever D&D player character. His paint is fading, but I was very proud of this at the time. It's not focusing great, but that's neat.
Very cool.
He has shown up in a couple games.
That's right.
He indeed has.
You guys have... Actually, how many Sorkins have shown up on stream?
The Grand NA. Nate. Alithar. Al.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Oh, Vea. Vea has briefly shown up on a stream.
Yeah,
did she?
On Bar Crawl, right?
Yeah, I believe she's in the background of an episode of Bar Crawl.
Oh, Vea. You sweet pet murdering dear.
It's not her fault.
I don't know whose fault it is.
It is her fault. It's just she's young.
But it's such a teenage girl thing to do, of just this litany of undead pets that she had in her nightmare. The turtle. How do you kill a turtle?
That was the one where I had hoped everyone would be like, it's like impossible to kill a turtle. What did she do to it?
Oh, Thea, she's a sweet, sweet girl.
Yeah, like bunnies, gerbils. Look, they have a life expectancy of like 2 years anyway.
Yeah,
like,
and it's often irresponsible to have even bought it in the first place. Ow. At that point, I blame the parents. But yeah, the turtle, Jesus pieces. That's a starter pet if there ever was one.
A turtle is a starter pet?
Yeah, because they're impossible to kill.
Because they're indestructible, but they're also a lot to take care of.
They kind of sit there. I mean, you
have to clean out the tank.
Yeah, and their food preparation can be quite, like, if you actually care about it, it can be quite a bit.
You actually care about it.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise you can just salmonella super easily.
Yeah, you can just buy turtle food and put it in the corner too. But like, if you actually want a healthier turtle, there's a lot of food prep you can do. Which I knew somebody who was very into their turtle and did all that stuff.
Okay, Vea's track record with pets. She currently has a blue jay. Mm-hmm. Which you shouldn't give her either. They're very mean birds.
Yeah. They're corvids, actually.
Yeah. 3 bunnies, 2 frogs, and a turtle.
And they're all dead?
They're all dead. The blue jay is not dead. The blue jay is alive. Mostly because they're just mean.
Her brother?
Yes, but she actually has a blue jay. He just transformed into one to...
I see.
To go undercover once.
Yes. Poor thing. And yeah, were we in the Feywild? We were somewhere where like nightmares were coming to life, and we were all haunted by like our dark reflections or whatever.
Yes,
that's right. It was her dark reflection came out of the woods, and it had this like litany of lich pets.
Yeah, she was a necromancer who brought all her pets back to life.
Oh man!
Which I want to play as like a character concept now, like just a 15-year-old. I like goth wizards. I like teenage goth wizards, obviously.
Yes. No, you got a type. It's so good.
Huh. An attempt was made.
Ooh. There we go.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
Equal.
No?
No, it's like the side's too low.
Oh. I thought they were just facing different directions.
No.
Okay.
Like they're on opposite sides, but like I don't know if I can show it too well.
Okay. I think they look. I don't. If you put that on, I would just assume that's how it looked. Like I don't think it looks bad. But if it's not what you want, that is 2 different things.
Yeah, that's a different.
I mean, I'd rather not attempt doing it again. I stabbed myself like 4 times trying to get it on.
Sure. Sure.
Fair enough.
Now I gotta decide what to put on next.
What are your options?
Well, I was gonna try to finish up the back and give that a one, but I have these 2. I have like a smaller version of the sunflower, and I have a big version of these roses, but their stems are black. I don't know if you're gonna see it. I also have this kitty.
Oh. Oh, nice, and it's outlined in white too, so that's perfect.
Yeah, and I also have a moon, like a little tiny moon I was gonna put on.
Ooh, I like that.
That one's nice.
Yeah, and I got all these stars.
Ooh, nice. Are you gonna put all of them on there?
Why am I doing that? There we go.
It's 6 of each, so I think I have enough room for them.
Awesome.
They're kind of tiny.
Yeah. Do they glow or anything, or are they just stars? They just look like stars.
No, they're just stars.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking too straight. I was trying to find them on Amazon. I was like, how come I can't find any star patches on Amazon that aren't like bulk?
Yeah, right. You get them by 500 or something.
Yeah. Or it's like, I get 1 star. Like, what?
Yeah,
You don't want star patches for life? I don't understand.
Amazon is so weird. I was looking for Star Wars stickers not too long ago to decorate a GM screen that I've never finished. But the options were like I could buy one Star Wars sticker for $5, or I could buy 50 Star Wars stickers for $5, and I was like, oh, the 50. Like it doesn't even I don't even it doesn't matter if I don't like 10 of them, or if I don't like 40 of them, it's a better deal.
Yeah.
And they were clearly unlicensed, but there's some cool stickers in there. But yeah, I was looking for some third-party gaming accessory earlier, and yeah, I'm just like, I don't know which of these to trust. You can just put anything on Amazon, apparently.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Including the one which Krista found, and she's like, what about this one? And I was like, the logo is blurred out. And she's like, oh, right, so it's like, you think... I was like, no, it's just a picture of the actual product. Like, the real version of it, that they blurred the logo out of, so it's not a picture of their product. And I was like, that's definitely not allowed.
That sounds not allowed. Now, Liz, you said you were kind of going for like a DIY, like kind of witch aesthetic. For like a cosplay, or is it for like a con, or?
I was just fooling around, making characters like I usually do.
Okay.
And I was thinking of a wizard who just got her GED.
Nice.
And I was like, I was like looking through all the subclasses, and I saw there's a unearthed arcana called the Wizard, the School of Invention, which is basically, I was reading through, it's like the Chad Wizard. Because it's like, oh yeah, you get armor, like magical armor that allows you to modify spells at really high levels, and then at second level you get to basically roll a d10, and if you roll a right number, you can cast a spell of like a random spell.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, that's so bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't...
Sounds like some bullshit I would make up.
Yeah, they released a bunch of those unearthed arcanas, which...
It was from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, like they... Well, I wonder if it'll be in Tasha's guide to cauldrons.
That's what I'm wondering.
Catalog of cauldrons.
Let me...
You got it.
Let me pull it up, because it's like nonsense.
Yeah, wizards are tough to... The school system already works really well, so then you're just kind of like, but these are just like those, but they don't behave like that. It's tough to add to wizards.
It was released with the Circle of Spores Druid, so it's from a while ago.
Yeah, because that made it into a book already.
Yeah.
So the copy for it says, the School of Invention claims credit for inventing the other schools of magic. That's the first sentence. Okay. And then like the second level feature is reckless casting, which is you can attempt to cast a spell you don't have prepared.
Okay.
So you roll a d10. You can either roll a d10 to roll a random cantrip from a list, or you can expend a spell slot and roll twice on the reckless casting table for its level, or the 5th level table if the slot is 6 or level or higher.
Huh.
Yeah, you get to pick which of the 2 results you want to use, and cast the resulting spell.
But why wouldn't I just cast a spell? It doesn't feel like a wizard.
Because I think at least with the cantrips, you get to pick Sacred Flame. You can either roll Sacred Flame or Thorn Whip.
Okay. I mean, those are both good.
Well, I think, like, if I can imagine the benefit of it, it's like, oh, shoot, what I really need is Fireball, and I didn't take Fireball today, so I'm going to try and cast Fireball anyway. Like, that would seem to be the kind of in-play risk-reward that they seem to be going for, but it seems like you can just kind of keep trying to cast whatever you want. It doesn't seem like a high enough...
Maybe I'm misunderstanding, I'll tell you.
Risk-reward. Because, yeah, like, we're all falling, and I should have brought Featherfall. I didn't. Let me at least try to save our lives. That sounds like it could be fun in game, but that doesn't sound like what they were going for necessarily. So
no, because you're rolling the d10 and you're just getting a random spell. Like, okay, well, there's a chance you can get him. That seems weird. I don't like it. It's not wizardly.
Well,
I hate it.
you could like the 5th level spells. You have a chance of casting Mass Cure Wounds.
Yeah, and
so it's like a table of...
Yeah, it's not...
It's a D10 that you roll, and you roll on a table.
Oh, see, I thought, like, when you were saying the D10s, I thought you were talking about, like, it's a percentage chance you do the thing you want or whatever. No, that's weird.
No, I think that would be more interesting. Because wizards are supposed to be the best flexible spellcasters, not the
right
most random spellcasters. Those are sorcerers.
It's like the wizard that like slacked off or something. It was just like, whatever.
Yeah, and you get Iron Man armor. What? I don't like it. I'm glad this didn't make it into a book.
Yeah, we'll see what Tasha has to say about it.
Yeah. Well, they would probably have fixed it because there's a bunch of rumors going around about what is and isn't in the book. There's some people saying that's the remaining Sword Coast Adventurers Guide classes that haven't been reprinted will be reprinted, which I think might just be the Blade Singer at this point, and they'll be tweaked slightly. Somebody said, I think I saw someone say that one of the psionic class options would make it.
Oh.
Okay.
And that they dropped the die mechanic of it. I still don't think they quite have psionics figured out, but
yeah, they should probably stop trying.
Well, I know that's what you think.
Tell
us how you really feel, Marty.
I feel pretty good with where my chips are. I'll leave them there. No, it's fine. As Andy can tell you, I have opinions about damn near everything. But yeah, I've got opinions on what is and isn't D&D, and all of it at this point is pretty much accepted as D&D. So.
Yeah, and to your credit, when you did DM us, and when we came to you with a list of things you hated, you said yes to all of them.
I try and at least be that guy.
Yeah. And to be fair to us, you didn't tell us you didn't like some of those things. It's just we came with a group of things, and you're like, really, everybody?
Yeah. No gnomes, no halflings, no dragonborns. Cool. I've got a gnome, a halfling, and a dragonborn. Cool.
Oh, and no half elves, and you don't like monks, and I was a half elf monk.
Yes. Or it's not that I don't like half-elves, it's that I find them oddly positioned in D&D, where they're just kind of like, they're great diplomats. I'm like, no, they should belong nowhere. They should be weird freaks that everyone's just kind of like, oh, well, you're not elfy enough to come back to Elftown, and you're just weird enough and, like, exotic in that way that humans probably spurn. So you should have no place in society, in my opinion. And instead, they're just kind of like, they get a charisma boost. Why?
Well, I mean, that is how we played Fane, like that he didn't really have a place in society.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. Hey, you were in my world then.
I was down. Like that's kind of what I wanted anyway. Like, yeah, he was an orphan, as all good adventurers are.
Yeah, even going back to arguably, well, I was going to say the most famous half elf. There's probably some Tolkien characters that would argue with that, but Tanis, I always kind of liked that Tanis was kind of a weirdo, and like he grew a beard specifically to not be taken for elves. Like Tanis is a very weird and complicated character, and maybe that's even part of why it kind of lingers so long for me, that I just think half elves should be not like freaks, but just weird to everybody. It's kind of like, oh, cool. So like your mom's gonna outlive your dad by like thousands of years. That's got to be tough around the holidays, huh? Do they still talk, or?
Well, and you're gonna watch one of your parents.
Just
grow old while you're like 20 for 50 years.
Yeah. So yeah,
that is really weird.
Well, yeah. Not that weird, because you kind of watch your parents grow old and die every day.
Oh, for sure.
People just do that.
But you just have a longer perspective on it. I don't know. But then also the elven parent has to be like, great, I have a kid who's going to live 150 years instead of 1,000.
Yeah.
So that's...
I don't know that's really worth teaching you the voice of the forest stuff. So...
Wow, cool. Thanks, Mom.
Like, I don't know. What are you into? Do you like music's fleeting, like your life, right? Like, it's probably something in there you could be into.
Well, everybody's being a bard these days, so.
Everybody's being a bard these days. Yeah, which I mean, among the other things to love about Brennan Lee Mulligan's interpretation of, actually, I don't think, Andy, you've actually been through the series, but you've certainly seen
I've seen the
highlights.
The highlights.
Just how utterly like tragic that guy finds the fact that you will die someday. You're not near death. You're not even really approaching it. You've introduced death to our family. God, get over it. But yeah, Tolkien elves are the worst, so I'm on his side.
Legolas is cool. He does cool things like skateboard and overcome racism.
He does overcome a little bit of racism, so I guess we're giving away awards for that. Yeah, let's see. Elves are mostly the bad guys. Like, yeah, my whole setting is just full of takes, and no one wants them.
Hot takes the setting.
Not.
Well, we've encountered some of them in Star Chasers.
Yes, which yes. I'm always glad to throw. I think back to the first episode. One of my favorite finding my shots and taking it was where you described all the oddities of the moon, and I leaned over to Storm and was like, "I know, gnomes." Beholders, cool. Gnolls walking around loading spaceships, cool. All these gnomes, though, right? It's uncommon to see this many. Poor gnomes. I just didn't want to come up with a culture for gnomes. I'm still proud of my work around there. Don't worry about patting me on the back. I've got it.
I will be curious to see what Tasha's does about some of the lore around races, and if they'll change any of it, if they'll, what they'll do, because they're changing some of it. It seems, and good. Maybe they can make maybe they can make gnomes. Just make them tinker gnomes. Just that is something at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, because I find them to be very confused in the first place, and hearing our one player go on about, well, do gnomes do this or do gnomes do that, and that's part of the problem with gnomes. But yeah, actually, I keep forgetting to recommend to you, Andy, Matt Coville's last live stream, where he just kind of generally chats about D&D and is mostly affable. Speak of hot takes guy, but someone just kind of brings up of like, well, what do you think about changing race in D&D? And he goes on like this 25-minute diatribe of like, I couldn't be happier, and here's all the many things you could do instead, and really plays. So if that person was trying to get a negative reaction from him about it, that backfired hugely. Yeah. As he went on to extrapolate every possible benefit of getting rid of that crap.
Well, yeah, because he sometimes comes across as as grognardy, but he's not. He's really not. Like his style of play is where he likes dungeon crawls and he likes kind of big save the world plots and kind of lots of political machinations and strongholds and hirelings and stuff like that. But yeah, if you listen to him talk about anything else, he is all about, like, he was all about 4E and differentiating mechanics there, and it's like he's not going to be behind the times on mechanics.
Yeah. No, so I'm interested. I think, like, one of the things he suggested, which I really liked, and again, in part because it goes to a more kind of a modular World of Darkness-y style, is you have your ancestry, because certainly you still want some things to kind of tie back into, like, you know, if you want to be a tree, a wood elf, you know, then you still might want some affinity or nimble-footedness or whatever. But, you know, you have your ancestry, your background, or your profession, and then your class. I think it was. He had this kind of, and he's like, now listen, a lot of people are going to get exhausted with that, but you think of the combinations I immediately just opened, and
that is, I just want there to still be. I don't want everything tied to one thing. Like I want there to be still layers of choice, so that not all paladins play the same, or all soldiers play the same, or something like that. Just add a third thing. Add a fourth thing. I'll take it and make it modular. Make it, okay, here's your ancestry. Here's your culture. Like, you know, your culture teaches to emphasize the longsword and the longbow. So
that was it. It was ancestry, culture, and profession.
Yeah. And I've seen a couple people do different things with that, and mostly interesting. Sometimes it gets like, I saw one that was like this point buy system, and look, it was well done. It was just no thank you. Like, I'm not playing that game. I like this because I like 5e because it is a little more basic. And I'm ready for a 5.5, like, where if they're going to add modularity. Which the other thing is, you know, so I know someone on the internet's going to be like, WotC's ruining D&D by taking this away. Nothing's stopping you from just playing it the old way. Like, because those rules are all still there, and I'm sure they will just print rules that continue to be.
You can still do that.
You know, even when I'm trying to think of a race that hasn't been, when gnolls become playable, you know, a future book, I'm sure the book will still be like, hey, if you're still playing with static ability score increases, gnolls get +2 con and +1 whiz.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes up this much space. They're gonna put it there still. But then these rules and Tasha's will hopefully expand on that and be like, but, you know, obviously, if you don't want to play a gnoll like that, you pick this culture instead, and they were raised by elves.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to go about it.
So, or you just make it everything interchangeable, and who cares? Like,
yeah,
I think that is harder for Adventurers League, but Adventurers League has to deal with that. WotC doesn't really manage, or, you know, Adventurers League manages Adventurers League. That's their problem.
Yeah, which is the best reason to get it into a book. Like, get it into a book, so Adventurers League has to even if you're just doing Player's Guide +1. Right. Well, my +1 is the book that lets me do the thing I want to do. Get off my back about it, weirdo. But yeah, like, again, modularity. One of these days I have to get on our channel and do just a whole video extolling the merits of what White Wolf did for character creation. Because, like, Vampire is itself pretty impressive of, like, you can be literally anybody, and now you're anybody plus something, you know? But beyond that, like, their werewolf system is just... It's basically that. This is your race, this is your culture, this is what you do in that culture, and 3 of you could play the same of any of those things and be completely different in the other 2, and you are wildly different characters. Even if you have, like, maybe the same approach to a problem, you're then adding a cultural lens to the same problem or something. So yeah, it's it's surprising to me that it took games that long to kind of adopt that, but in part because it's complicated and takes more than a minute to read. But I think if you take that more than a minute, you'll immediately be excited about the possibilities.
Yeah, I hope Tasha's is good.
Yeah, me too. Those are my favorite. Go ahead, Liz.
No, I was gonna say I pre-ordered it. I hope it's good too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Use my credit card points on that.
Maybe that's what I'll do if I get this job. Is I'll order the special edition of it.
You mean when you get this job?
What?
Boom.
Yeah, you are gonna get this out.
Oh, thank you guys.
The secret. Use it.
Yeah. Vision board. Use them.
Got Pinterested.
Mm-hmm.
Interested.
Yeah, don't they do vision boards on Pinterest? I don't know. I never used it.
I think it's kind of all it is, really, ultimately.
Yeah,
and ruining Google searches since 2006.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
Oh, this is exactly what I want. Cool. It leads to a Pinterest page, and I can't open a bigger version of it or figure out where it's from.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, I do that when I have to do haircuts.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing.
Well, because this is mostly what it's always D&D maps for me. It's like, oh, this map is perfect. Click. This is great. This is worthless.
It doesn't get bigger.
It doesn't get any bigger, and I can't figure out where it's from or who drew it.
Yeah. But Tiger King fan 69 really thought it lit up their fun images book.
Ooh, cute kitty.
The kitty. It's on the back though.
Oh, there we go.
Very nice.
Oh, it's good.
Protecting your back.
Yeah.
It's looking out for you. That's my headcanon.
There we go. Nice.
I did it.
Oh, that looks so good. Is that one of those ones off of like Instagram?
Amazon.
Oh, sick.
I literally Googled like witch's hat, and then it's like one of the ones that popped up like a while ago. It was like, this is sort of a witch's hat, but it's like you could wear it every day. I'm like, no, that's a straight up witch's hat. And it was only like $10 or $12.
Wow,
So,
that's
pretty
really
good.
cheap.
Yeah.
I am.
It's not a dark enough brown.
It's been too long. I'm officially bad at paints right now.
Who did you start with, Dance Slap or Vianti? Or are you going for both?
Dance Slap, because I'm really worried about Vianti's skin tone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to mix, and I'm not up to mixing yet. Because I certainly always imagine that he's kind of like kind of North African, Middle Eastern complected, like kind of like in that Asia Minor kind of. So I went that, but then I went just a little green, just a little like,
Ooh.
and I'm that's where I'm gonna make myself super nervous, is because I got a couple flesh tones that might get me started, but then that's gonna be the ratio that's gonna be hard to do. So
I like that.
Yeah, so that's my aim there with the Yuanti. Our sad snack boy.
I love him so. Okay, that.
Poor snake boy. And his best friend.
Why can't they just be happy?
Oh. The universe conspires.
Me? You mean me?
Actually, yeah, shit. The universe has a name.
It's Andy.
And a face. Has it always been that punchable? Because it seems very punchable.
It's the beard.
Yeah. It's probably the beard. Yeah, you got it. It's, you know what? I feel like Dance Lab brings a certain amount of it on herself. Leave my snake friend alone. Leave my poor innocent Snick boy alone.
Just
I didn't do Beyonce any favors.
Anytime they run an adventure, I do love. Well, adventurers will surely come handle this at some point.
I do, that is my favorite ongoing gag of that. Anytime they're on,
sounds like adventurers will handle that.
Yeah, well, especially it was after the whole like you're basically describing like you'll check the violet flame is going to upend the 12 cups that are the universe or whatever the hell, and it goes on this like long, like what this prophetic book that we keep repeating this enigma song, like and what it all means, and then after it's just like. Well, maybe, hopefully, some adventures will come along and sort that out. Sounds fine. Oh, the poor bastards.
They're gonna be so disappointed when they find out that we are those adventurers.
They are those adventurers, but they have also made the most powerful enemies, perhaps on stream. I think next to Task Force Unlikely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piss off a Manchun.
I'm gonna make an enemy of Manchun. I'm gonna make an enemy of Manchun.
Yeah, I think Task Force Unlikely has since taken that cup, but for a while, it was that crew.
Hey, for two little troublemakers, they still have a pretty impressive roster of people who are life-threateningly mad at them. Hey, actually, speak of Task Force Unlikely.
Yeah.
Some of them are showing up right now. Actually, I don't know that Zaztam gives much of a care about them. They kind of made it so that Zaztam's
he wants to thank you.
Yes, no, that's more terrifying somehow.
I'd like to.
I'm sure the army undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to shake your hand.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. Like, that is the line that keeps coming back to me every time. I'm just like, as God, we were putting back the dread artifact. I was pretty sure that was the right call. We'll put it back here in this unmarked tomb, no problem. I was perfectly where some other lunatic can get it. I don't know what I expected.
I mean, would you really have wanted that?
Absolutely not. First off, it clashes with literally everything I have. I'm an autumn. This eye is, I want to say, a winter, like a dread, never-ending winter. Hard no. Oh, yeah, what would we have done to it? Sold it to a Manchun?
Sold it to a Manchun, given it to Zephyros?
Yeah, no. Those people can't stop playing with magical artifacts.
Either way we shook it, we were gonna be irresponsible with it.
Oh, for sure.
That was my favorite part.
You're like, exactly why I set it up that way.
When you were like level 4 at that point, so it's like, what are you gonna do?
Absolutely nothing.
Put it back.
And that's still like one of my favorite episodes.
Oh yeah. What was it? Some people do dungeon crawls and we do dungeon stomps or whatever we called it at the time. Yeah.
I'm gonna use my full movement.
Always use your full movement. Now I don't know what to do next. I don't know what colors to go with. I want to go with basic leathers, but like that just feels unglamorous.
Can we see it?
Tiny cheetah print.
I don't know if you can or not. But
hold on, I'll make you big.
If you put your hand behind the mini, then it'll sometimes.
Well, now every part that doesn't show up very well is the part that I colored her flesh. So now it's just a matter of like, do I want to have her dressed for show or do I want to have her dressed for actual like adventuring on the road? And I think I definitely want to
the same thing.
A little bit, yeah. It's some of the fan art, which is to say, Soup's art, sometimes goes either way. Believe me, if there was any version of this mini that I could just have in an oversized T-shirt, I would have done it. But
there was a art meme going around a little while ago that was, I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter, it was that like ridiculous Fila hoodie that they put out that like basically was like a hoodie and that cut off at like your nipples.
It's like worse than a crop top.
It was a crop top, but like it did like a crisscross, almost like a swimsuit or something, and it like literally cut off like halfway, like at nipple height.
I'll take 2 of them.
So I started doing some fan art of Dan Slap and Vianti in it. Because
that's why I'm taking 2 of them. I've got just a friend.
I haven't finished it yet.
Do you have it in a boy's small?
No, I'm afraid when I said a boy's small. You imagined. Yeah, I love playing classless people who think that they're classy. Well, I like playing anybody who's really bad at the thing they're supposed to be good at. It's probably my biggest trope of, Chaudhry is a cleric who's super bad at convincing people of things. Any number of my World of Darkness characters is like, that sounds cool, but what if I'm the worst Bruja?
She was the worst ranger.
She hated the outdoors. Even Viliana is just she's a terrible drow and a pretty bad warlock, if we're being honest. She sold her soul to the first unicorn that would take her. The dissonance of it will never not make me smile a little bbit. And Danslap, you could argue, is a terrible cleric, except she's a pretty good cleric of Joaquin, I find. Pretty good at the making trade work part.
Pretty good, because her other class is Bard, right?
Yeah. She's a glamour bard, a trickster cleric. Which is fun to play. Glamour bards are tough because really you have to be in a position to do your craft, your entertainment to make it work outside of just you're not stealing cool spells, you're not doing extra stuff. You're when you entertain, you can entrance your charisma modifier amount of people. It's like, oh well, I better be in a position to entertain.
Hava was a glamour bard, right?
Yes. NPC turned, I guess I'm in this campaign now. Hava, you see me, lost cat. No, poor Hava.
Where is she now? Do we know?
Well,
she's on the Prime Material again, right?
Yeah, she was left in the lurch by Storm, was the last we've seen her, but
yeah,
I do have if we ever do get those 2 back together, I do have a funny tackle.
Yeah, I want Hava and Nella.
Oh, and Nella to go on a come back here mission.
To
down Storm.
Yeah, I don't know. To meet in space and be like, yeah, I'm looking after this dude. He totally ghosted me. Me too. Yeah, this Catman. Me too. Big hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of songs about Vecna.
In what you'd call a disparaging way.
Can I sit down next to you? Because we gotta talk. But yeah, at some point I want them to be like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
It's not cool. We just had a conversation.
And you stole my ticket. Which he did with my, as a player's permission. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
not
my magic item.
Not Hava's permission.
No, not Hava's. But, oh boy, she could probably use the terra firma under her. So, if we ever do pick back up the home game, which I have notes on, but then a pandemic happened, and but yeah, the next place she was supposed to show up was the fire plane, because she shows up on the water plane,
right?
And then on stream, we released her from that, and then, but by then had she already? No, you encountered her in the home game. I was supposed to have an NPC for Homebrewed, and I was like, okay, cool. She'll have been trapped in this dread realm, and even canonically, it's before she ends up in the water plane. And then you guys freed her from the water plane, and I was like, well, that's no good because her every leap is supposed to be her leap home, and it never is. And so she goes to the fire plane in there. So the next time, spoilers, the next time you guys were supposed to encounter in the home game would be she's working in a bar in the fire plane, which is where, when she comes back for the reunion episode, she's coming from.
Right.
She's just escaped. The bar on the...
Yeah, which is why she has her fur is all frizzed and
and she's wearing like the Arab.
Yeah, she's wearing like a Jasmine costume.
Yeah. I just want to make her top red. I so rarely work in like really bright, bold colors, but if there's anybody who's going to wear bright, bold colors, I have a feeling.
I feel like a red would look really nice on her.
Yeah. You could. Never mind. This won't. Talk. I can't talk this week. I don't know what's happened to me.
Oh boy.
No, that's okay. I can't talk either.
Yeah. The mini isn't necessarily built for it, but you could dress her as she dressed for the masquerade. Alternatively, all denim.
Yeah.
All denim everything. God, I think it was you who pointed out that that's got to be her aesthetic, and yeah, she thinks denim is fancy.
Yeah, I think I compared her to the Britney Spears in all denim outfit from the 2000s.
Yes. Yeah, Britney Spears is a great aesthetic because she's like a country pageant queen who's now world famous, but she still has country pageant queen taste, and I love and respect that so much. And it's truly part of what I find just personally so endearing about this character is that she thinks she's fancy and she's just not. And there's just a lot of big oh honey energy coming off of her.
And yet she oh honeys others.
Because she knows. Because somewhere in her, because she's been in the city. I mean, goodness, she's got some miles on her for sure. But again, if you tell her like, okay, it's a fancy dress affair, she's just gonna be like, I'll bring out my best denim. Got it. I've got a whole denim dress. It's like, no. Put it back. No, it's floor life. That can't be good. Just put it back.
It's got black ties on the back. It says black tie.
I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong.
It just makes me think of when I was in high school, I went to my school's prom, and then I also went to like a school that was in our same school like district, but it was known as kind of like the boony. Like...
You can just call it Eagleton. Yeah, we got it.
No, I went to Eagleton.
That's right. Sorry.
It was like the Pawnee prom, and like half of the girls, I want to say, at that prom were wearing camo dresses.
Bless every one of their hearts. Yeah. Everyone.
There was far too many trucker hats and camo dresses.
Well, that was the era of trucker hat, right?
Well, and hold on, was it their good trucker hat? They were honoring the occasion. I'm back on their side.
Sweaty, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually,
it's fresh, good lid.
I bought a trucker hat for a Halloween costume, and I wear it. That thing's comfortable. And it's not as puffy.
Would you wear it to a fancy event?
No.
Exactly.
But, well, I'm trying to remember. At my prom, there was a guy who had a suit that looked like Spider-Man that he made himself.
Okay.
Nice.
But it was like a suit coat, and somebody definitely showed up in a tie-dye suit. I don't really remember any of the girl. Oh, the principal put his earring back in because fancy.
Yeah.
And he had a bit of a mullet.
All right.
Dr. Burton T. Hines.
Go down, Dr. B. Let's go.
Almost certainly retired by now, but yeah. But I went to my high school had a ginormous graduating class, so.
Same for
so if you wanted to stand that, you had to be the tie-dye tux guy.
Yes, yeah, and those are the only two I can remember. So I'm sure everyone. I mean, mine was.
Well, then it worked, didn't it?
I remember them. Yeah, I wore some shiny tuxedo. I'm sure because that was the era of the shiny tuxedo again.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a good time because that's not fair. My date was fun, but I don't like large gatherings. So,
oh yeah, there's no part of that I see that says to me like, you know who'd have a great time here? Andy.
Yeah, it was the only dance I ever went to in high school, but it was fine.
I didn't go to a lot of like homecoming dances, but we had an event that was kind of like a Sadie Hawkins dance during the winter time that we called Santa Switch, and the girls were supposed to ask the guys. Ooh.
What? In this economy?
I know. With this prostate.
What are we gonna do?
I went to a lot of those because those were a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's the dance where you get to be observed as an autonomous person who can make your own decisions. It's got a lot going for it.
You can say no if you're asked.
No.
Oh, can I go to the Women Are People 2 dance? Weird. What will I wear?
I think my prom date asked me.
Oh, now we're bragging.
Yeah.
No, I went to what might be an alarming amount of proms.
That's a weird brag.
I don't know that I'm bragging. I want to be clear there. That wasn't necessarily an assertion. I said alarming. I didn't say I went to a totally normal amount of proms, which would be one, two,
one or two, I think.
Yeah.
Depending on
I
if
went
you're
to
counting...
more proms than there are years in high school. Let me start there.
Any after you graduated?
More than one.
Ooh.
That.
Okay, that sound I think says a lot.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I guess it depends on how much out of like high school.
It was the next two consecutive.
Okay, that's
better.
And I still knew people there.
Okay, well then that's fine.
Yeah, no, me and another person who, well, I'll say graduated. Let's go with graduated. Was it the second one? Had been at both of the previous two. I'm just kind of like, how many is this for you? He's like, yeah, it's 5. I'm like, yeah, me too. Like, I don't think there's an award for that. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure there's actually whatever the opposite of an award for that is.
You need a punch card.
Yeah. Then our
go
6th
to 4 proms and
free.
Get a free hoagie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, if I needed to dance to The Woman in Red one more time in my life, I've got it. I did it. I did all of them. I met whatever quota that was.
The song that was popular was that who is like Little John and some other Usher.
Oh, the window to the wall.
Yeah.
To the wall. Yeah.
That was the big one when I was in high school.
That's a fun song. Any song where you can scream and or just yell what over and over again.
Yeah.
You had me at Little John. I need a smaller brush that behaves. And this one wants to behave for a second and then just fray. That's not going to be great. They will insist with painting. You really have to try hard to screw it up because it dries pretty quickly and you can paint back over it.
That's true.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't know until you do it. Because I screw up constantly and then I just repaint it.
And depending on the quality of paint you're using, you can just wash it off.
Yeah, actually that's true too.
The soap and a toothbrush will take most of it off.
And if not, I have found the new hot tip is to use Simple Green, which is an all-purpose cleaner.
Okay, mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just dunk it in that for a couple hours and take it out and scrub it.
Great.
Yeah.
It does smell good.
Really, man, now you're making me want to clean something. Yeah.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Yeah,
It does strip it down. It will strip the primer off.
Okay.
Too. So you will have to reprime.
Good tip. But yeah, like if you paint over onto the skin or whatever, you just go back and touch up the skin rather than be like, well, gonna have to start over.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a lot of layers on there before it starts to look thick.
Right. Yeah.
Although this is a custom Star Wars miniature I made. It's Hera from Rebels.
Oh shoot!
And you can kind of it is more evident in person. Pin your minis if you're reattaching heads because she just has a giant neck of super glue.
No.
I love Hera.
Yeah, I was proud of that one. I also love Hera, and I'm glad she'll be in Squadrons, and maybe she'll show up in Mandalorian.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just how much where they just like everything Filoni touches is like, well, what about my favorites? Let's put all them in. And like, I'm a little annoyed at it, but at the same time, like, I can't be mad at it.
But John,
why wouldn't you put all my favorite characters in your thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm biased because I like all of them. But Jon Favreau is the one writing it. Dave Filoni is just like the consultant.
Yeah.
So unless Dave Filoni is like a hypnotist or something like that,
like, yeah. But what if you put in this guy that is my favorite?
It's yeah, maybe he's just like, well, you'll find that if you don't put Ahsoka in, I'm not going to tell you anything else. Damn it, Dave.
Well, wasn't Jon Favreau also in the Clone Wars?
He was, yes.
The character he played in The Mandalorian was in the Clone Wars.
No.
Well, right, no, same clan.
It's the same clan because the character he plays in the Clone Wars, spoiler, is dead. But it's the same clan, yeah. Yeah, and he's
Vizsla?
Vizsla.
What is
Clan Vizsla, yeah. He plays pre-Vizsla in the cartoon.
Right.
Clan Vizsla of Death Watch. But yeah, he's a voice in The Mandalorian. I don't know if he's in more than one episode, but he's definitely in there.
Yeah, he's one of the Mandalorians.
He was the heavy, guy with the big gun.
Okay.
Like, saluted the Mandalorian as he was leaving. People made a meme about that. Like, yeah. People made a meme about it. Like, look, Robert Downey Jr., now I'm the Iron Man.
All right. Oh my god.
Yeah, because they got Katie Sackhoff to be Bo-Katan.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Of the sisters, she's not my favorite, but she's the one that's alive, so makes a lot more sense to keep her around.
Yeah, well, yeah, I like her in Rebels. I think she became a very interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. I liked all the stuff they did with the Mandalorians in Rebels. I thought that was all cool. I think Gar Saxon is interesting. I love, especially in Rebels, it shows you what absolute hypocrites they are, and I love that. All they talk about is honor, and then the second your back is turned from them, they will shoot you. Like,
yeah,
it's the most honorable thing is surviving.
Yeah. Well, and because they've, sorry, that's burning the camera at all, but they've gotten themselves to that point too. I'm sure it's not canon anymore or barely canon anymore, but the Mandalore from Knights of the Old Republic, kind of the original Krogan of just kind of like, yeah, now we're just son of a bitches in space. Like, there was a time when we were something and we fought Jedi and did all kinds of cool shit, and now we're just sons of bitches in space. And we do whatever we need to, and that's, this idea of, yeah, if I got to shoot a guy in the back, I guess I'll do that.
Well, and yeah, especially 'cause, like, it's just interesting. Like, because I thought all the new Mandalorian stuff in the Clone Wars was super good and different. Like, it was just, yeah, what happens when the galaxy isn't on fire every 5 minutes? The galaxy's at peace. We need to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that it's kind of a one-for-one comparison, I don't want to make a direct Krogan extended metaphor, but I really love the line. I think it's even just in the first game of just kind of like, how many Krogan scientists you met, Shepard? Like, how many Krogan artists? Yeah, my race has got a problem. Being honest, my culture's really not putting in its best effort in doing anything other than slowly marching to their own deaths. So cool. And yeah, I like that. I mean, really, until Clone Wars, this idea that of course there's some kind of warlike monoculture. Why wouldn't they be? Because that's not realistic and actually all that interesting. So this idea that they have this whole like pacifistic contingent, and those guys, quote unquote, the ones you're thinking of when you think of Mandalorians, are lunatics and really holding them back. Clan Vizsla.
Which, and then the way they are in the Mandalorian TV show too is interesting, because he's like, you never take off your helmet, and meanwhile you're like, I've seen Mandalorians without their helmets on. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I hope it gets spoken, because I'm a little tired of fanboys being like, see, I always told you that. It's like, no, you didn't. But also, they're zealots.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
displaced zealots with nothing left.
Those ones are adhering to some ancient version. Their clan motto is just some ancient Jedi war kind of thing, and it's interesting. But I do hope that, like, when Bo-Katan shows up and takes off her helmet and she's like, I'm basically Mandalore. Like, you people are insane.
Yeah. This is fine. You're gonna break out under there. It's too much helmet.
Break out under there.
Yeah, that's. You don't even have your ventilator on. That's bad, man. I gotta tell you.
Maybe Pedro Pascal just couldn't be on set half the time, and Jon Favreau is like, you can't take off your helmet. I guess it's fine. You'll just dub it, and it's a stuntman half the time.
It's a whole thing.
That was actually what happened.
It is true. Yes, it is a stuntman more than you think, I believe.
Yeah, which is always a little disappointing to find out how the sausage is made. What's that?
Wasn't it like one of 3 stuntmen? Didn't you?
Yeah, I think on one of the whatever they call that, vision boards, Mandalorian or whatever, their behind the scenes thing. All right, we're defo going denim skirt, I think.
Hell yeah.
Big hair and denim skirts. The dance lab story.
But yeah, I'm sure it was several different stunt performers depending on what they needed, and this one can take a punch, this one can flamethrower some Jawas like a lunatic.
Just the body language of disdain for fucking Jawas is great.
It really is. I that show is great, but I absolutely love that of just you shut up, flamethrower. You are not well.
Yeah,
Jin.
Your conflict resolution skills could use a second pass.
Yeah. And I also like that he's not an unstoppable badass. Like, that he gets his ass kicked a fair amount in that show.
Yeah, no, quite a bit. Yeah, I like that.
And granted, I also like when he's a cool badass, like in the first scene where he's in that bar and he cuts a man in half and, wrist ties them and shoots like 3 other. That's cool. That is, like, I can't deny that that's cool, but I also like that he's just not unstoppable. And he needs help.
Yeah.
And he's willing to admit. And they released some set photos today, and it seems like he's hanging out with Carl Weathers and Gina Carrero a lot, and that's cool. Like, good. Like, yeah they were.
Yeah, God, if we could just retire the loner character forever, that would be great.
So yeah, I especially liked her character. I mean, you're not really. I don't think you're supposed to like Carl Weathers. And he's doing that thing where he's saying Mando too much, and it's just like.
I'm so done with that too. It's fine.
No. Like, I think it's on purpose. Like, I think he's. I think it is a choice that they are saying. That he is saying Mando as like some sort of power move. Like, I know your name, and I'm not going to say it. I'm going to call you Mando.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think that was on purpose. But it's just a weird power move. And Giancarlo Esposito is awesome. And he's in that interview. He's like, I just love that at my age, I get to wear a cape and own it, and I get to have a lightsaber and own it. Like, this is the best, and I'm in love with this. I'm like, yeah, you were a cool bad guy.
That is not your.
He only showed up like the last couple episodes.
Yeah,
too.
he's only in like 1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, oh, this is a waste. And then when I thought he was dead, I was like, well, that was a waste. He was cool. Not a waste.
Nah, that's why you kind of knew that he wasn't gonna be dead, right? Because he just showed up at the end there.
That's probably my favorite thing about it, because I don't know what to expect from this damn show.
Yeah,
I got like nothing.
That's true.
Like, who knows what they're doing? Bill Burr came and went. You know what?
Yeah,
That's a serious rap on Bill Burr.
Very good too.
Oh, see, I did not like that episode.
Really?
Yeah, that was by far my least favorite episode.
Oh man, I might be liking it for other reasons.
Look, I'm not saying you can't. I didn't like either of the Twilights. They were just like, oh my god, these are the best, and I was like, are they? They're lunatics who are very bad at their job. Like, they're like, her being crazy is actively hurting the job. And
yes, for sure.
So it was just my least favorite of. Again, 8 episodes I really liked for the most part, but it also has a
Dirty Dozen fan and stuff. But I guess the Dirty Dozen are more objectively good at their jobs. I'm part of the.
When I liked Bill Burr's character, that he was just kind of a cocky jerk,
Dick.
But he's not actually good at his job. Like, I don't know. I liked parts of it. I just didn't like all of it.
Yeah, I particularly did like the whole like Imperial sharpshooter. Isn't that I'm not a stormtrooper, dumbass.
Yeah. Like, that was funny. And his robot arm like gun was cool. And I loved the Mando picking them off like it was a horror movie. Like, I liked that part of it. Where he is just being smarter than them because they're all kind of bad at their job. I just didn't like the 2 Twi'lek characters.
And they are so much of the driving force of those episodes. Yeah. If you didn't like that, there wasn't a lot left over to like. Yeah. I don't think.
But cameos from 3 of the directors, which was fun.
Yep.
Did you guys know that Dave Filoni likes wolves?
What?
That's one.
No way.
I know.
3 Wolf Moon shirt all day, every day guy. Loves wolf shirts the way that Dan Slap loves denim. That guy.
He really does.
Look, nothing wrong with it, but there are just other names and stuff.
Yeah.
And animals, even.
No, only wolves.
I love Dave Filoni. I think he's a genius, but just everything's a wolf.
God, just listen to that guy talk about Star Wars for 20 minutes. Because he's been talking for 20 minutes. So you didn't have a ton of choice once he started, but...
You had a choice of Star Wars or wolves.
Yeah.
It's going to be roughly the same conversation either way. They're going to end up in the same place, but...
They're not necessarily as mutually exclusive as you would like them to be sometimes.
But you were given a choice.
That's right.
And like in Rebels, where they're just like... These wolves are like... protecting people, and like they're like functioning like it's like great protector spirits, and I was like, is that what wolves are known for? Aren't they kind of not really known for that, like hunters and predators? And I don't know, it's just,
well, I mean, technically if they're in a pack, they're like protectors. Wolves are very pack oriented.
That's true. They're protectors of their own.
Yeah, Dave Filoni knows more than me, so I'll just assume that yes, they are.
Listen to the 20-minute TED Talk about wolves?
I didn't. It's just I like to me, like symbolically, like that's not what they mean to me. But again, I don't know. They in packs they did function in a pack in that show, so they wasn't lone wolves.
And a lot of what we know as wolves are probably hungry and driven to bad behavior. So long as you accept that the whole alpha, beta, omega thing was always horseshit. Which is one of those, the headlines on page 1, the retractions on page 7. situations, because even the guy who came up with the alpha, beta, omega like theory was the one who wrote the retraction, and you still got people out there being like, yeah, be an alpha. It's like, okay.
Sure.
Like, do you mean be a wolf in captivity for my entire adult life? Sorry, I'm channeling Dave Filoni right now.
I saw something.
I'm going to go chase my t-shirt.
I saw something interesting on Twitter recently. It was in reference to rethinking Dungeons and Dragons monsters and like their motivation. But it was essentially about like the most dangerous man-eating tiger of all time, I killed like 400 people or something like that in India. Mm-hmm. And then when they finally killed it, they found that it had been shot in the face like 10 years ago, so it couldn't chew properly or hunt properly anymore. So it had to kill people to survive because it couldn't actually kill its like natural prey. And that was just like an interesting thing of like rethink why your monsters do things. Like, did something happen to them that drove them into, is this, hippogriff inhuman lands because they killed its mate to steal something from The Witcher? Or,
And that tiger had a huge Ann Geddes collection, which really humanized it to me, I feel.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting and sort of related.
It's interesting.
No, yeah, I do, and I'm as lazy as anybody when it comes to it, but I do think, what part does this monster play in your ecosystem, or the ecosystem, is a question worth asking. Since there's so many, like, a wizard made it, like, paratons and things like that, where it's just kind of like, this has no place in a natural ecosystem. It's just some maniac wizard monster. Or it's patrolling this area because it's supposed to, because a gnoll with a whip is telling it to. You can always do that kind of stuff too, still, if that appeals to you. But yeah, I definitely think it's a neat exercise to consider. Why is this wyvern so aggressive? Is it protecting a nest? Is it to just give it one other end this to?
And look, if you just think remorazes are cool, nothing wrong with that either.
Nope. For example.
For instance.
Just off the top. Yeah, no, good point. Good point.
But also, Marty, to go back to the Paraton is just a weird it doesn't have a place in this ecosystem, so therefore it's just a pest. But it's a pest that has razor talons and can fly 50 miles an hour.
Well, even that, you can still be interesting about it. Just like, there used to be a wizard here, and there isn't anymore, and there's a bunch of paratons now that don't know what to do with themselves. They've mated for 3 generations. They're inbred as shit. They got nothing left.
The spotted lanternflies of the Forgotten Realms.
Precisely.
I have almost got a base coat on this guy. He's got a lot of little details.
Yeah, what's the company? Because they sound adorable. I really like the...
They are... Apparently not very good at marketing themselves. SFG?
Okay.
Steam Forged Games.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think they also came out with a couple of cat packs, too.
What?
Yeah.
For your more cat inclined. I think it's called Cats and Catacombs or something like that. Kittens and Catacombs.
That's fun.
Oh, it must be, there's the game Pugmire. I think Catacombs, or maybe it's not. I thought that was like the expansion for it.
Oh no, the expansion for Pugmire is
the Kingdoms of Mao.
Yes. or Monarchies of Mao. Hold on, I have
Monarchies of Mao. That's right.
Somewhere.
But yeah, like I do think they're definitely trying to do a brand adjacent without the license. I'll tell Eddie. I'll tell him to go sue them. No.
Yeah, I do think that it's cute though that if you backed the Kickstarter, then you can for sure get the PDFs so that you could actually run the characters. And I think it might have even included an adventure or something also.
Do you know if it's OGL? Is it kind of base 20? And since you didn't back the Kickstarter, I'm not requiring you to know, but I am wondering.
I think it was like a 5e adventure. Like.
Okay.
Oh no. Where are we?
They're just good.
You're in your home, Andy.
They're just good, sweet doggos instead of humans.
Yeah, I just put a link in chat.
Kill.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out some Pugmire.
Yeah, there's three dungeons and doggos.
Yeah, I need to get the third one.
And 2 cats and catacombs. Let me look at these cats.
I can't remember which dog sold it to me, but it's like, oh, I love these.
$25 for 6 minis.
Yeah,
Oof.
They're pretty reasonably priced.
That's pretty good.
I'd like us to go back to earlier in the conversation where I spent $25 on one. So yes, no, you know what? I'm in the wrong biz.
And they do vary in size. I mean, you've got like the Chihuahua, which is like really, really, really tiny little boy, up to like Saint Bernard sized boy.
Oh, but quadrupeds?
They are quadrupeds, yeah.
That's adorable.
They're just like straight up dogs.
So maybe they are trying to be Pugmire if they're doing their own adventures and stuff, because I think Pugmire is implicitly
they're anthropomorphized.
Yeah.
I think I remember them coming out at around the same time, and it was kind of like one of those things like, it's Aquaman and Namor, or that's not true. They have several. It's Swamp Thing and Man Thing. It's just like, weird group think.
Yeah.
Yeah, each of them comes with like 2 small-sized one, 2 medium-sized one, and 2 like larger-sized dogs.
That's a good.
Which I feel is pretty fair. For
good value and a good spread, yeah.
And they'd be fun little familiars if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And one of the cats is standing on 2 feet, so like you could say it's a tabaxi, like it's the monk. These cat ones are pretty cute. There's an Abyssinian wizard with a big falcon on its back.
And they are like super, super detailed. Like I can't get it like good enough to be able to show it very well, but like he's got like 4 like distinct packs on each side.
Yeah, you might hate these, Marty. I mean
from a painting perspective, yeah.
Oh my god, there's a Scottish fold. Sorry.
Of course there's gonna be a Scottish fold. Are you kidding me?
This one cat, it's like what do we think that is? That's a barbarian. It's got a lot of fur detail. Like that would be rough. Looks great. Looks amazing. I didn't mean that. I'm ashamed of myself. And I didn't mean it.
It's one of the proper emotions to feel.
No, these are they also make the Critical Role miniatures.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I sure kept thinking they were Hero Forge, but they're not. I think there's a bunch of spring ups now that since you can 3D print, you can do things. I actually wonder if they're more detailed or not.
They're looking at them, they're pretty detailed.
Yeah.
And $40 for what are there? 8 of them? 8 miniatures.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business, guys.
They look great. Let's look at the Vox Machina.
Yeah, that's kind of my like dream is to one day own like a desk sized like 3D printer and just be able to print off my own like minis and shit.
Yeah, because even like it's much cheaper. You can Hero Forge now, and I'm sure Steam Forge or whoever else is doing them. You can just download the model and then print it yourself. Which, yeah, that's the dream.
And Vox Machina comes with a trinket.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I do like a trinket.
I know enough about 3D modeling that I could then, you know, like modify the mini to be exactly the way I want it to.
Is it trinket with battle armor, or is it just
trinket with battle armor? And Keyleth has a very impressive cape.
Yeah. Oh, it's all leaves, right? Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's just for a miniature. It's a very large cape. Like, and it's like all Doctor Stranging. It's a good looking mini. These are all good looking minis. Turns out, Steamforge Games, very good at their job.
Very good at their job.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with the first pack, which is why I got the second one, and I intend to get the third one. But I couldn't justify spending money on a third pack when I haven't even painted the first two.
Yeah, and it looks like they have, like a couple of licenses. Dark Souls, Ni no Kuni, Devil May Cry.
Dark Souls just came out with a miniatures game, too.
Might be what this
miniatures
is.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is
a miniatures.
Yeah, I mean, it's a board game. I don't know if it's the same thing, but
I think there's both. I think there's a miniatures game, or maybe there's a card game and a board game. I don't know. I remember there being two when I went to Gen Con last year. And one is supposed to be good and the other one's supposed to be terrible.
I always think that's fascinating when someone has the same license, makes two games, and you're like, well, one of these is great and the other one's hot garbage. I don't know how you did that, but great job.
Well, I mean, some adaptations of things just, like lend themselves to different things better than they do to others.
Yeah, I think whoever has the Power Rangers license, I can't remember which one. It's like the card game's good and the board game's bad or something like that. It's
the miniatures game is excellent. The scrimmage game.
Yeah.
It's Renegade that has the license for the scrimmage game, and Renegade, oh my god, they make such good games.
Yeah, they made.
I've loved every single game that I've bought from them. Like, not even just like, oh, that was a pretty good game. Like, immediately one of my top favorite games.
Publishers of Kids on Brooms, Renegade Game Studios.
Really? It does look like they're like typical style of thing that they go for. Yeah, because they produced the Power Rangers game. They do what is that game called? There's a cute little game where you run like little NPC shops. Bargain Quest. That is excellent. They actually have they're the ones that do Clank also.
Oh, okay.
So they also hold the Acquisitions Inc. license. So they have a Ac Inc. pack for Bargain Quest that includes, I think it was actually a C-Team pack. And then they made the Ac Inc. version of Clank and then the CT pack for that too. But then they also have Arborium, which is a good little $20 game. They've got a variety of expensive games to smaller, cheaper games, and every one of them has been absolutely worth the money that you spend on it.
Oh, and to be clear, I don't know if it's that Power Rangers game. I was just saying, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Not to besmirch a possible game that might be very good.
Yeah, no, I've played the Power Rangers scrimmage game, and It's pretty good. I mean, you have to like scrimmage type board games to like it, but I think that it's a good example of one.
It seemed like a lot of those came out kind of all at the same. Like there was a Batman one.
It was the trend.
Yeah. Agents of Mayhem, which was weird because that didn't do great as a video game. I guess somebody snatched that license up before those sales came in. It's a fun enough video game. It gets repetitive, but the world is fun. And I actually thought I misremembered because I saw it at PAX one year, and I thought it was an RPG. I got so excited because I wanted to play kind of it's goofy G.I. Joe, and I was like, this is right up my wheelhouse, like right in my wheelhouse. And it's not a thing. And there's no G.I. Joe RPG, which
it's weird.
That's strange.
Yeah, I want to, and again, I want a goofy version of it, but
well, you'd think that there would be some sort of like
just
action heroes, like
what Saturday morning?
There's Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
And then someone made like a 3.5 fan G.I. Joe game. But yeah, I was even surprised like that from the 80s, West End Games or something didn't have like a G.I. Joe the role-playing game.
Yeah.
Seemed like there would be. Seems like something that would lend itself well to something like that.
Yeah, maybe hold on. When did the original G.I. Joe cartoon come out? Because that might have been like late enough in the 80s that role-playing games weren't the biggest thing in the world anymore.
Cool. I don't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Mutations was, and that was based on the comics. It wasn't even the cartoon.
No, 83. Yeah, that should have been. I stand by it. There should have been a G.I. Joe RPG.
Yeah, darn right there should have been.
Well, when you get your time machine, you go back there and you tell them.
I want to play as Chuckles. Or Snow Job, which I had a very hard time convincing Krista that Snow Job was a real person or a real G.I. Joe.
Is
that sounds fake?
It's real. Snow Job.
Snow Job. It's a slang for a different thing.
Yeah, sounds like a service.
Yeah, it was really outdated even when they called him Snow Job in the first place. So, and really, like, he's not a con artist or anything, so it doesn't really.
No, he's a skier person.
Yeah, he's just the.
He should have been Blizzard or something.
Alpine Troops guy or whatever.
Yeah. Avalanche.
There you go.
I'm sure now. Well,
IDW 3 reboot. He's no longer Snow Job.
Oh, then again, they still use dial tone. So.
Listen, dial tone has carved out their spot, and they're waiting for it to become cool again.
It's retro.
Use it as your ringtone or something. I don't know.
Yeah, does IDW still have the license to that?
To what?
Yeah, I was reaching. I don't know if they do or not.
I think they do.
Yeah.
It was Devil's Due for a while, and those were not good. The IDW ones, the ones I have read, are good, and I like that it's like Ninja Turtles, where depending on what book it is, it's either goofy or serious, and I like a franchise that can do that.
And they definitely are one.
Yeah, I think Larry Hama might. I think it might be one of those things that he's been allowed to continue his Marvel run.
I think so, yeah. Or I've heard some version of those words together recently. God. Blinding myself even trying to do a fairly poor job.
Oh wait, hold on. No, okay.
And I know, well, I'm never sure where on the continuum of Chuck Dixon we are right now, but I understand he did a pretty decent run for a minute.
I'm sure he did.
which I can imagine he would be very good at. It feels very...
That feels in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
What's Chuck Dixon doing?
I shudder to search, but...
Yeah. Because
I know he was with the Comicsgate people and then was kind of loud about, like, well, I got canceled for this, that, and the other thing. And so my only recourse is to do this, but...
That's not...
I heard that secondhand, so I could be maligning Chuck Dixon, who gets a lot of shit for bothering to admit that he's voted Republican in a field that doesn't love that. Because between him and Judd Winnick, I prefer his Dick Grayson.
That's the thing that's always so interesting to me about Chuck Dixon. It's not like his comic books ever espouse particularly conservative ideals, like, but also, like, he was a conservative in the 90s. So, yeah, I don't want to Google him now because I don't want to know what he thinks about certain goings on, because he may not agree with them, or he might.
Yeah, no, it's tough. At this point, it's a weird ask to be like, please be a Lincoln Project guy or something. I don't know. I don't know. Don't be a Ben Shapiro.
Krista was playing a video game last night, and it was Donut County, which was created by Ben Esposito, and she was kind of glancing, and she said, "Did that say Ben Shapiro?" And I was like, "Yeah, I let you buy a video game by Ben Shapiro."
I let you put money in his pocket.
Yeah, no, it's Ben Esposito. I would have warned you if you were buying a Ben Shapiro game.
Yes. Just at least let you go in eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Some of this money will be going back to...
I gotta know what Chuck Dixon thinks on Twitter.
I'd be surprised if he was on Twitter, but...
Yeah, just don't be Comicsgate-y or... Please.
Yeah, I know there was something where Tom King was disappointed because I think Jay Lee was the one they did an alternate cover with, and Jay Lee has worked with the Comicsgate people, and then after Tom King blew him up, like, people were like, well, he's not on Twitter, like, have you talked directly to him? Or, like, I think they were kind of challenging to be like, well, say it to his face or whatever. So then he calls Jay Lee, and it's like, yeah, Jay Lee's not on the internet, he has no idea what any of this is, and he has been doing covers for a garbage organization because they paid him money. So me and Jay Lee are cool now, and it's like, well, Jay Lee should still Google where his money's coming from. But yeah, again, I said it before the stream, I try not to judge people on their worst day. And I don't know, I guess I like Jay Lee's art okay. I've never been a huge fan, but he's one of those guys who kind of chases realism to the point of, like, Uncanny Valley, because it's like, I almost wish you would stylize this from the jump, and then it wouldn't look so weird.
Okay, Chuck Dixon doesn't looks okay. Looks like he's writing. It looks like he's writing novels now.
We're all holding our breath. How's Chuck Dixon?
How's Chuck?
He wrote a lot of Robin comics I really like.
Oh yeah, no, I like that guy's Bat Universe. I think we all were a little tired of it. In the same way that I don't like how Chris Claremont got the boot, but I do think it was about time for Chris Claremont to make room for literally anyone else. I think it was time for Chuck Dixon to give room to... I think it was time for Chuck Dixon to give room to the Denny O'Neills of the world.
Oh, yeah.
When was that guy going to get his shot?
Although, here's a good tweet from... He also doesn't tweet a lot, but... the movie-going audience has voted 3 times to end the Terminator franchise, which is fair.
He's right. Man, I am tired. as someone who just binge watched the first 2 Terminators for Judgment Day, as you do. You guys do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stop there. They're 2 perfectly good action movies. One's a horror and one's an action movie. And they form kind of a closed loop, and you're good. Just don't worry about it.
Pretend that I've seen either one of them.
No. Poor sweet summer child.
Disappoint you.
No, much like any of those movies, like they mean so much to me, but they wouldn't mean the same thing to you. So that I'm not big on. What do you mean you haven't seen X? You simply must. No, you don't. Only Andy will know who Mark Farrington is, but Mark Farrington is a person who has not seen Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And
so, yeah, but most of the reactions to you haven't seen Star Wars is you simply must. And no, that whole moment's moved past you. It would mean nothing to you. You didn't see them when you were 8 years old or 11 or 12 or whatever. Watching them as an adult, you're going to be kind of like, yeah, these movies are pretty silly, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was what everybody went crazy about.
Yeah, and there's no black people in the future? Well, actually, it's a long time ago, Mark, and I'm going to make it worse the more I try to describe it. So, you know what? It's just not.
I'm in a Star Wars Discord group, and someone in there was like, "Yeah, my first Star Wars movie was The Force Awakens," and all the old heads in their minds were blown. Just what? How is it your first Star Wars movie? Well, the person's probably a teenager or was a teenager then, and if your parents don't care about Star Wars, why would I go watch a movie that's 40 years old if no one I know likes it? Or if my parents didn't show it to me,
Yeah, that's for sure why the Terminators have never really crossed my path, is because it's I don't know, my parents are really weird when it comes to the 80s and sometimes like to pretend they didn't exist. I think it's because they were too busy going to the disco clubs or something. But
we're deep in them discotheques. That's the problem.
Yeah. But
yeah, and I don't. There's always the. What do you mean you've never? And listen, the Terminator movies mean a lot to me. So if I thought you'd enjoy them, I'd be like, oh, you should watch them. Not you must. You should. And even then, I think you can probably miss them entirely. They're fine. They're fine. I love them a whole bunch, and they're fine. I guess would be the strongest word to use for them.
I was talking to a person in our home group once, and I was just like, I've never seen Predator or something like that. And he's like, you've never seen Predator? You have to go. I was like, I absolutely do not have to go see Predator.
No, you don't.
No, you really don't.
No greater value to your life.
It's a classic. I was like, it's Predator. I get it. You can see in the heat or something. You just cover yourself in mud. I know enough about Predator.
Yeah,
I know it's got Jesse Ventura in it.
It does. And Bill Duke. Yeah, actually, it's got a really good cast for a movie like that, which is mostly trash. It's fine, but and I've been complaining to you about this fairly recently, Andy. I'm just really tired of my generation thinking that all of their entertainment was some great shit. No, it was what we had. It was all just what we had. Everything that we did has been done better since, and it's probably worth just liking that better thing by now. And a lot of it is problematic as shit. So it doesn't even age particularly well. It's try being my kids absolutely need to see the Ghostbusters. Oh, Dan Aykroyd is absolutely getting a ghost blowjob in this middle of this movie, and I forgot because why? And now I have to explain that to my kids. Cool. I forgot we just did shit like this in the 80s. Oh, this was before we invented PG-13. Cool. Thank you, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, but I kind of wonder how, this generation will be when we're older and kind of looking back 20 years, and it's just like, you simply have to watch 7 seasons of Breaking Bad. It's like, oh, like, do I?
Oh no, they will be insufferable about something for sure.
That's what I mean, but like like the things that are kind of, because it's the golden age of television, which yes, it is, but it's going to be it's not just you put on an hour and a half of Ghostbusters and then I don't like Ghostbusters 2 though. It's no, you have to watch 7 seasons in a reunion movie of Peaky Blinders.
Like it.
Like, it's like, great, okay.
Sit down. We're binging this over the weekend as a family.
Gonna watch all the Game of Thrones and then the redid 7th season. With the
I remember where I was when that fan petition we took hold.
And then we just started getting Snyder cuts of everything. I don't get it either.
They're recutting The Godfather 3 apparently because we're just Snyder cutting things now. Just stop. I can't wait for that to come out, and I kind of hope it sucks just so we can shut up about it.
I secretly,
and then I kind of hope it doesn't suck because I would like the Justice League movie to be better than it was. But yeah, I kind of hope it sucks. The Emperor's wearing no clothes, and everyone can shut up. I
just think it's going to be Batman versus Superman 2. Like, I just don't get why. And people are like, "Oh, it has to be better." Well, did you like Batman versus Superman? No, it's terrible. Well, okay, then Justice League doesn't have to be better than it was now, because if you just thought it was okay...
Yeah.
I just don't get... Like, it's still going to be a Zack Snyder movie. If you didn't like the other Zack Snyder movies, the wool has been pulled over your eyes. I also did not think Justice League was very good.
I don't think it's... I like Zack Snyder, and I don't know what hope I have for it to be significantly better.
He just doesn't like superheroes very much.
Yeah,
I didn't see it because I spent money on Batman vs Superman, and I said not again.
I made a big stink about how you don't have to give him money. You don't have to give him money. I took Marty for his birthday.
Thank you.
You're well. I mean, hey, it was. Look, at least we enjoyed it together.
We sat through it together.
I think that was like the second clunker we had been to in a row too. Like,
yeah, I don't remember what the other one was. Was it a Star War? Like, yeah, it was just kind of like, man, just everything's really disappointing right now.
I don't think it was a Star War. Hold on, let's see.
Because then what else was the other superhero movie out at that time?
Yeah.
It would have been.
Let's see.
It would have been fine, I guess.
Wasn't that around Black Panther time? Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
Maybe it was a Star Wars.
No, it would. Well, it may have been, but that wouldn't have been the.
Oh no, because Justice League would have come out before Star Wars.
Yep.
So yeah, I can't remember. I feel like there was another movie we didn't like though. I'm almost positive of it. Oh, my mom.
It was 2 in a row because you took me to see one for my birthday, and I took you to see the other for your birthday, and it was just kind of like, well, we're even.
My mom the other day says to me, she goes, "Andrew, I saw my favorite superhero movie," and I was 100% ready for some weird Hallmark movie answer, and she's like, "And it was Black Panther, and I absolutely loved it." And she was like being 100% serious, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's great. Okay, your father fell asleep. I was enraptured." And I was like, "That's awesome, Mom."
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was ready to be like, my favorite superheroes, Jesus. Maybe you'd like to hear about it. I would, yeah. You can probably... He does have certain elements that would make him very super heroic, very good. Oh. Now I've got the sads again.
I know. Sorry.
Why do you have the sads again? Thinking about Justice League?
Nah, because Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yeah.
And like every detail that comes out is like more, like it's both more amazing and more sad.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it was that he just was convinced he was going to beat it, so he didn't need to tell everybody. It's like, ah. Oh.
Yeah.
Because, 'cause Chadwick Boseman, and like every detail that comes out is like more, like it's both more amazing and more sad. Because a lot of it was that he just was convinced he was going to beat it, so he didn't need to tell everybody. It's like, ah. and then to wonder at all the things he was suffering through while he did all of these. Like each movie had more action in it than the previous movie, and he had to be fucking exhausted. Like, yeah, it's I want to double my efforts to kind of just go through his catalog, because I knew he kept being different historical figures, and just, you know, I don't watch pretty much any movie that doesn't have some property from my childhood in it, and so I haven't really gone out to see the James Brown story or anything, but technically James Brown, a property from my childhood, so I could absolutely see that.
Yeah. But yeah, he's in a new movie on Netflix that came out very recently, a Spike Lee movie. Yeah. Which I had heard nothing about, which, yeah, I don't... You usually hear about Spike Lee movies. I don't know, like...
Yeah, I don't know if it was the Netflix of it all or what, but... Yeah, like, I feel like I heard about it exactly 5 minutes before it came out, and then stopped hearing about it exactly 5 minutes after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a Three Kings kind of setup, and that's a fun setup.
We are at time, so did we want to go ahead and wrap it up?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not terribly happy with what I've managed to turn in tonight, but I'm going blind between my light sources here, so I might just... I've done about as much as I can do as well.
Do we want to show what we did, or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do... CC, you go first, because you're in the big box.
Okay, cool. I got most of my bases down on Sweet Little Doggo. I've got some little details to go in. He's got some little potions that I want to do in various colors. But I did, like, all of his little bags have like lines on the outside, and so I did them all in gold. And
oh, very nice.
Got almost done with all the base of them.
Very good.
Okay. Marty?
Yeah, with my shitty camera. But yeah, I've got... She's coming with her denim skirt and her red top.
It's very Wonder Girly.
That's almost my problem with it. Yeah, like, I'm not terribly satisfied, but it's...
I was going to go for Jessica Simpson and that one.
There we go. That's much more
where she was
brand.
The Daisy Dukes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's much more on brand. But yeah, we'll see, because there's still stuff to come together with it. But right now, I'm just being very critical of it. I've lost a step. I got to get it back.
There. And Liz, do you still have your hat nearby?
Yep. I got the one I was working on before, and then I sort of did the back, but I'm not sure about the back now. I got the key, and he's looking at the little sunflower. I'm not sure about the stars, because I was going to put, like, a bunch of them around here, but I'm not sure if that's going to work out or if it looks good.
It looks good so far.
Yeah. But if you do put a bunch of stars, will the one there look out of place? Is that what you're afraid of?
I'm thinking, like, it would just be around here, and I'm wondering if it'd be too busy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because I got a, like, very nice minimalistic going on, like, in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if I should have that represented in the back and, like, get rid of the kitty and the star and put something just, like, to wrap it around.
Okay. Yeah.
Business in the front, party in the back, right?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. When you're right, you're right.
Well, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
And Andrew, what did you do? No.
Went down memory lane.
Yeah, I like that this kind of doubled as Timothy's chat show idea, too. We had a little more... we can actually bring topics instead of just kind of going, or we can just talk to each other like friends do, because that was fun too.
Yeah. Talk to each other like the friends we are.
Outros. Cece, would you like to go first?
I'm Cece, aka Soup, aka Soupska on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me there if you like artwork. And hey, maybe when I get further on this sweet doggo, I shall post pictures of him.
Awesome.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. You can do the Instagrams and things like that for me too if you want. I don't know. It doesn't matter if you do. But more importantly, you should wear your mask because we are still in a pandemic.
It's true. Very true.
Marty.
Ooh, yeah. Hey, I'm Marty. I'm a bad social media follow. Don't bother. But what you should do is, I'm a better follow here on this very channel. Click a like or a subscribe. Let us know if you liked this or would like to see more things like it or less things like it. just talk to us. Come on. Do we not bleed? But yeah, no. This was a lot of fun. Actually, I'd like to be better at my part of it, but yeah. So click a like, click a subscribe, follow us on Twitch. Use your Prime subscriptions. Got a free Twitch follow. Go ahead and do that. What else have you done? Come on, it's pandemic. Be honest.
It's also September, so you get 30% off on all your subs.
That's right. That means you find someone to dominate you, and no, I'm being told.
Different one.
I'm being told that's different. Okay. Well, I've got a mask to take back after this stream.
I mean, does it cover your mouth and nose?
It does.
That's a savings. Yeah. If you had a thought about this, let us know what it is. There's a bunch of social media information on the far side of the overlay. Check us all out there. Next week is Red Skies Over Chult and Star Chasers. And if you missed our Beyond the Wall show, there's a playlist on our YouTube channel with every episode. It was quite fun. Check it out. And that's it. Be kind, wear your mask, don't be racist, and we love all of you.